Alright, young Turks, it's at Love Clark again, trying to come at you with love. Okay, listen here. My kids come first. My kid needed me. That's why that was cut short. This is picking up. That was a short part 1 introduction. I was able to tell you that I am a freedom nut, and guns, along with the responsibility, training, and will to properly use them, are liberty's teeth. That's what George Washington said, that liberty's teeth. See? This book is not about hunting. There are already plenty of good hunting books, and yet another one is not direly needed right now. The Second Amendment is not really about hunting. It is about keeping politicians nervous, honest servants. An armed citizenry is the ultimate check and balance on government. When the ballot box and the jury box no longer work, then it's probably time for the cartridge box. I can't speak for other nations, but Americans merely collectively delegate their individual sovereignties to servant government to operate on their behalf. When the servant grows haughty, it should get corrected or fired. Since, however, the Constitution set up an insular arrangement of political correction, congressmen impeach and try themselves, and since voting out the congressional servants has proven to be nearly worthless, people are now contemplating sterner measures. We should no longer spare the rod and spoil the child. It's only because congressmen are not in fear of their jobs, their fortunes, or their lives that they have the nerves to propose repealing the Second Amendment, classifying vitamins as prescription drugs, or banning wood-burning stoves. Such D.C. ilk should have been dragged down the streets back in 1933 when they outlawed the private ownership of gold, which they blamed for the Depression. The thugs who enforced such obscenity should have been strung up from the first day. Since they weren't, they now feel free to stomp family pets to death, shooting nursing mothers in the face and pour helicopter gunfire through the roofs of homestead churches with women, children, and babies inside. Men that are above all fear soon grow above all shame. Our government, now fearless, has grown above all shame. We could have easily pulled these weeds when they first sprouted. Now they've Kevlar vest, night vision, Kevlar, registered trademark, vest, night vision, and silenced submachine guns. For us, the Gun Control Act of 1968 was 1936 Rhineland, and we blew it. The Brady Bill was 1938 Sudetenland, Auschwitz. The Crime Bill, Slovakia, and the Terror Bill, 1939 Poland. Now we're probably going to have to fight World War II, and we're not ready. Thankfully, neither are they. Oh, we've got the guns, we just don't have the courage. We are nearly perfectly gelded. Never before has such a well-armed people become so utterly apathetic to the preservation of their liberties, so lazy in their thinking, and so cowardly in their actions. Sounds like a Muslim. Our domestic gun control Hitlers have successfully called our bluff too many times and have grown too confident with their progress. A slap in their faces back in 1968 would have saved us incalculable bloodshed a generation later if there is not a John Ross unintended consequences scenario very soon. Then we're in for some extremely nasty business. Civil War II. I don't desire this, but it's inevitable. Then let it come. Is life so dear, or or peace so sweet as so purchased as the price of chains or slavery? No, it's not. It never was. We have the badges of liberty, but not the soul. We're serfs with guns. This unprecedented paradox will be resolved in one of only two ways. We'll either lose our serfdom, or we'll lose our guns. If you won't fight for your liberty, then sell your guns to us now before they're confiscated without compensation. Or read on. Boston on Guns and Courage is about regaining the soul and polishing the badges. You heard that? Young Turks, you getting the message now? You starting to get the message? I hope so. Boston on Guns and Courage is not meant to be definitive guide to all or even most firearm matters. Many subjects worthy of complete books: ballistics, CQB, tactics, law, gun history, reloading, shooting techniques, equipment, sniping, etc., are only briefly covered. Else this would have been a 500-page book not seen before 1999. We don't have that kind of time, and besides, excellent information on those subjects already exists. My goal is simply to dispel many potentially dangerous gun misconceptions and illustrate what you don't know. Why listen to me? Why listen to me? I do not claim to be a working professional in the shooting industry. I'm not a Jeff Cooper, Clint Smith, Bill Rogers, or Chuck Taylor. I have neither the extensive military experience of these men nor the years of instruction. I'm not even a cop. So what? Did you learn to drive from Al Unser? No, it was more likely your dad or your brother. My point is this: the personal instruction from bona fide experts is very expensive. It takes great commitment, although not even 1% of gun owners will ever get to a shooting academy. There's no reason why much of that training cannot trickle down from the civilian alumni. Of all our prestigious shooting schools combined, probably less than 25,000 civilian Americans have enjoyed such training. That's 25,000 out of 75 million gun owners, or 1 in 3,000. Most of them went to only 1 or 2 classes. I've been to more than 6 for pistol, shotgun, and rifle. I guess that only 2,500 civilians have been at least 750 courses. That's 1 in only 30,000 gun owners. Okay. We're going to skip down to here because we're getting to the point with these books. I'm not reading the whole book, okay? Boston on Guns and Courage is a catalog of one man's experience and opinions. I don't know everything, but I think you'll get your money's worth. I hope you'll find this book a timely, useful, and informative work which stands above the swill preferred by the misinformed to the ignorant, okay? So, we're going to continue in this book, and we're going to get into law terminology, abbreviations and terminology, and we're going to, since the Turks and that lawyer aren't going to teach you the truth and use what he knows to actually tell you the truth, we're going to get to the nitty-gritty, and we're going to teach you the truth. Those that want to know, those that want to learn, and those that just want to sit here and let me teach them, or let me share. Basically, I'm not teaching nobody, I'm just sharing. So, those that let me share, Young Turks, I'm going to make you look kind of ridiculous because you should have taught the truth, but now you're going to get schooled.